So welcome to the webinar about the 5 adventure hotspots in Ecuador. It's a pleasure to have you all here. Just some little bit about myself. My name is Jasmine. I'm from Switzerland originally, and I hope you are all doing okay wherever in the world you are. Why am I in Ecuador? I have been traveling 1.5 years before through Central and South America, and I just liked the whole nature and the people here in Ecuador, and I gladly found a job, and I am now working and living in Ecuador for 1.5 years. As you can see in my picture, I'm an outdoorsy person. I love climbing. I love the outdoors. Whenever I can, I am in the outdoors. So this topic is one of my heart topics, and I love to plan for your clients the perfect active and adventure trip within Ecuador. Yes, good. And let's start. This webinar takes about 20 minutes. During the presentation, you'll be able to put your questions into the chat. Just write to all your questions, and one of my colleagues will be able to just write directly in the chat and answer you directly there. And if there is something that has not been responded, we can check at the end. Okay, so the objective of this webinar is, first and foremost, we can all learn something new in these times and be prepared for when tourism comes back after the after Corona time. So we all hope there will be one, and there will be a time after Corona. Secondly, I want you to have an idea of the adventure sport that Ecuador offers. And thirdly, I want you to be able to inform the client about an itinerary. I want you to be able to have, to put together an itinerary and suggest what you could do, what your client could do within a week or two of his time here in Ecuador. But why should your client choose Ecuador for adventure? Ecuador is a relatively small country, and due to its diverse ecosystem and geological landscape, it has a lot to offer. We have rivers, we have mountains, cloud forests, Amazon, the sea. So you can see it's quite diverse, and therefore there's lots of activities to do. I have mentioned the different ecosystems, and within a small area, there are all the mountains, the rivers, the cloud forest. I have picked for this presentation 5 hotspots where you can experience different adventures. Some are for the hardcore seeking people, but there is also adventurous activities that can be for families that are more suitable for them, and it's adventurous but not hardcore. So the first spot that I chose is Mindo. This is on about 1,250 meters above sea level. In the morning it's mostly sunny, and then towards the lunchtime the clouds come in, and it's gonna be raining. And the clouds are low hanging. It's a cloud forest after all. The temperature is around 15 degrees. The next spot is the Sierra, the Andes with Machachi. We have the base for our climbing activities, and the temperature here is between 10 and 12 degrees. When the sun is shining, it feels a bit warmer. It's like in our mountains in Switzerland. Yeah, and then the third one is the gateway to the Amazon. Because Baños lies between the Sierra and the Amazon, you come down through Baños, and that's why it's called the gateway to the Amazon. It's still 1,800 meters above sea level, but it's quite green and with accommodating temperatures between 10 and 21 degrees. The fourth spot, excuse me, is the Amazon, the jungle, with Tena and Archidona. Here we have it humid and it's warm and between 20 and 28 degrees. Then the last spot, the hot spot, is the coast with Montanita and Puerto Lopez. The coast is 25 degrees average. Yes, so let's go to the first spot. Mindo, as I said, is in the cloud forest region. It's 2 hours from Quito, and it's a family destination. You can do canopy there, you can do tubing, there is a waterfall hike, and Mindo is very famous amongst birders as well. There are a lot of birds, different birds, butterflies, colibris, yeah, besides the activities. So I want to highlight the first activity, which is zip lining. I'm sure you all have done it, have heard about it. The work of biologists and botanists required access to the upper canopy of the forest without damaging it. So they developed a way to reach the upper level of the trees, and this has caused, or because of this, we now have this activity, which is super fun for the whole family, like you can see. Here in Mindo, there are about 10 to 12 different cables. You might be able to see the toucan when you are flying from tree to tree. When you go from station to station, you can see the cloud forest, the different plants that grow there. The whole tour takes about 1.5 to 2 hours, depending on how big the group is or if there are kids. Yes, you will always be provided with the equipment. As you can see here, the pulley, the gloves, the harness, the helmet, and there will always be 2 trained guides that accompany you. Yes. Then the second activity is the tubing. This is an activity where 7 tubes are fitted together and people sit on top of these tubes. Between February and April, there is more rain and the rides are more extreme. You will always get a helmet, a life vest, and the instructions from your guide. Your guide will also always be on the ride with you, and whenever you have questions or you fall off, then he will rescue you. But it's quite subtle, the activity, and yeah, so the tubing and the canopy are good for family adventures as well. That's why Mindo is quite good for a family trip. Then let's go further to the Sierra, to Machachi. As I mentioned earlier, Machachi, here we have our Osteria Papagayo. This is our base for mountain activities because it lies very central. You can rest here, you can sleep, you can eat, and in between your climbs, we have a jacuzzi, and there is a sauna where you can rest your muscles as well. From Papagayo, you can reach several mountains that are over 4,000 meters above sea level. There are day trips to lower mountains, which I suggest doing before the high alpine mountains for acclimatization issues. Because yeah, it's quite sad if you can't get to the top because you are altitude sick. So we want to cater, or like to see that doesn't happen, that your clients can move to the top of Cotopaxi, for example. We have all the technical equipment in Papagayo, and like many sizes, whatever you need to do the high alpine, the glacier climbing. We have that in our osteria. Every certified guide can take 2 people onto the glacier. That is the law here in Ecuador, and we work with guides that are working with us for many years. They speak Spanish and English, and yeah, we trust them. They are well trained, they have all their certificates up to date, and they will drive your clients from the Papagayo to wherever the climb starts in one of our safe transports with our cars. The 2-day trips that are very common are Cotopaxi and Chimborazo. There is also Cayambe or Iliniza Sur. Iliniza Sur is a bit more technical. So the Cotopaxi, just to have an insight, Cotopaxi is 5,897 meters above sea level, and it's the highest active volcano. And the Chimborazo is 6,268 meters above sea level, the highest peak in Ecuador. So let's see how a normal climb to the Cotopaxi looks like. This climb to the Cotopaxi is pretty straightforward, although I do not say it's easy. There's still a toll. I mean, you have to walk 6 to 8 hours to get up there, and in this altitude, it's not just a walk in the park. But it's only merely just walking with crampons straight to the top, and not really technical like Iliniza Sur, where you have to climb with your axis. So let's have a glimpse of what this tour looks like here in the video. A typical day would be to meet up at 11-ish at Papagayo with your guide, and then you go to the parking here. They start here at the parking. You walk up to the refuge, and there your guide will tell you some things, what is necessary to know. You can have a rest, and then between 6 and 7 o'clock at night, here you can see the refuge. Between 6 and 7 o'clock at night, you will have dinner. Here you can see where they sleep and they eat. And then after dinner until 11 o'clock, you have time to rest and sleep. And 11-ish, you will get up and get ready so that you can climb at midnight. Yeah, here you see. They made it within 6 hours to the top, and they had an amazing day. I myself have done it now a year ago, last May, and I was pretty lucky too. I saw all the peaks, and it's just breathtaking when you stand up there after 6 hours of walking up. Yes. So after coming down, you have breakfast at the refuge. It's also included. And then you will go back to the Osteria Papagayo. The other activity is horseback riding. In the Cotopaxi National Park, you can do that very freely. It's a prime location to be doing that. You will experience the flora and fauna, and you will see the Cotopaxi from different angles with the clouds coming in and going, and it's very pretty. Between 2 hours or 2 days, we can offer whatever your clients wish. And yeah, this tour is absolutely amazing because you have gorgeous views, unique nature. The rides are easy and fun, and with a lot of gallop in open nature because it's truly just the national park you're riding in. So it's great for beginners and also experienced riders. Here you can see the Cotopaxi in the background. Yeah, then let's go to the third hotspot. That is in Baños, the gateway to the Amazon. In Baños, there are several adventure activities. I always do say Baños is the adventure hotspot. So I just picked like canyoning, bungee jumping, and paragliding, but you can do all sorts of things there. So for the ones that don't know about canyoning, here you can see what it is. It consists of descending the waterfalls with ropes. You do not need experience. You will be guided by the guides. The necessary equipment is provided for you. You will travel from Baños about 15 minutes to the waterfalls and descend between 15 meter to 45 meter high waterfalls. Here you can see how he is descending the waterfalls with ropes. You will get the equipment. Your guide will instruct you. So it's quite easy and fun. And if it's raining, it doesn't really matter because you will get wet anyway. Yes. You can also just slip down the waterfalls. We can see that later. Here, we can just slip down. It's like being a child again. Okay, I'm just yeah, so I hope you have I just hear my friends saying, my colleagues saying that you can see the videos very well. I'm not sure.
Yeah, Yasmin, just it seems like the video is a little bit slow. It's good, so I don't know. It's maybe because of the internet connection.
Maybe it's my internet. I'm just gonna go further to the jungle. Jungle. So we come down, but I hope you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Well.
Well, it looks like it. So the jungle is the fourth hotspot. Here, it's the prime destination to be doing rafting. Here, rafting. as you can see, I put on a map because it's a very wide zone. Here is Tena and Archidona. Then if you go up, here is Baeza. And around this area in Baeza, there are a lot of rivers that cater for the experienced kayakers. And then when we go down here to Archidona or Tena, there are rivers, classes from 1 to 6, so that they cater for the needs for the beginners to the very experienced one. And the most stable water levels are between March and November. The many rivers, they come down from the Sierra, so some are cooler than others, but as you're in the Amazon and it's quite humid and very warm, it's very fun to also just jump into the water. In between the rafts, I have done a raft in Tena, and in between the big rafts, there is always the possibility to swim and to refresh yourself. And it's quite fun. So there, like I said, in Tena, around Tena, there are medium class rafts available. So it's also good for families. You can just tell us, we have a family, and we'll see that we don't put them in the highest class rapids. Here is another picture. And the guide always instructs the clients how to paddle and what to do, when to sit in, and yeah, it's very fun. Then the fifth location is the Pacific Coast. Here we can do surfing and diving. The surfing is done in Montanita. Montanita is where many surf camps are. During the whole year, you can learn how to surf because the surf is quite level. The high season is between December and April, when the north swell comes in and the waves are getting bigger. So it's for the experienced ones. They come during that season. The diving is from Puerto Lopez. As you can see, here are whales. They have all the necessary equipment. You will get into the water. The whales are there between July and September approximately. And I'm a diver myself, so I have done diving in August, and we heard the whales, and it was amazing. When I was there at the end of August, the water was quite murky, so I would suggest to go diving there a bit before end of August. But it was amazing to hear the whales. And there is also the manta rays that are there. I mean, obviously, you always have to be lucky to see any of these. Yes. Just a side note, if you want to see the hammerhead sharks, for example, they are on Galapagos. Your divers, your clients, they want to see the hammerhead sharks, then you have to send them to Galapagos. Yes. Well, so now you see, you have seen a small area of Ecuador for the 5 adventure hotspots. And yeah, I hope you have enjoyed the webinar, you have learned something new. Our next webinar would be then with Katie next Tuesday about Galapagos.